What happens when your own parents decide your sister's $18,000 vacation matters more than your once-in-a-lifetime wedding? This isn't a rhetorical question. It's the one Jennifer faced on a regular Tuesday night when a call from her mom completely changed her life. Sounds like your typical family favoritism story, right? But what Jennifer did next didn't just shock her family. It blew up into a social media movement with over 2.3 million views, a hashtag shared thousands of times, and a mini revolution in how we think about what family really means. Jennifer isn't famous. She doesn't have millions of followers. She's just a 32-year-old elementary school teacher who'd been engaged for 2 years to David, the man she loves. They'd planned a modest but meaningful wedding, with financial help from her parents, a tradition they'd promised since she was a little girl. After watching her parents' happy marriage for 35 years, Jennifer always believed family was the foundation of everything. She believed family love was unconditional. She believed the people closest to her would always put her life's biggest moments first. But sometimes the beliefs we hold deepest get tested in the harshest ways. When her mom called that night, her voice a little hesitant as she said, "Honey, I need to talk to you about the wedding budget." Jennifer thought it was just a normal discussion about details. Maybe they needed to adjust a few things. Maybe they wanted to add something extra. She had no idea what was coming. What Jennifer didn't know was that the call would lead to a bold decision, one that didn't just change her life, but inspired thousands of people around the world. A decision that would redefine how she saw family, her own worth, and who really deserves to be there for the biggest moments of your life. But this story doesn't start with fame. It doesn't start with headlines or viral comments. It starts with a ringing phone in a small kitchen, with a young woman prepping tomorrow's lesson plans, unaware that her whole life was about to flip upside down. This is Jennifer's story. And maybe it's yours too. Jennifer sat at her tiny kitchen table, third-grade math tests scattered in front of her, when the phone rang. Seeing Mom on the screen, she smiled softly before answering. "Hey Mom, I'm grading papers, what's up?" From the very first second, something in her mom's voice felt different. Instead of the usual warmth, Patricia hesitated. "Sweetheart, I need to talk to you about the wedding budget. Can you sit down?" Sensing the weight in her mom's tone, Jennifer set her pen down and focused. "I'm already sitting. What's going on? Is something wrong with the plans?" An unusually long silence followed. Jennifer could hear her mother's breathing, like she was bracing herself for what was coming. Finally, with a shaky sigh, Patricia said, "Honey, your dad and I are really sorry, but we need to adjust the financial plans for your wedding." The word adjust made Jennifer's heart skip. She'd heard that before, and it never meant anything good. Carefully, she asked, "Adjust how?" "We already agreed on $15,000 6 months ago." Patricia faltered. "Yes, but something unexpected came up. Your sister's having a really hard time after breaking up with Michael." Feeling the direction this was heading, Jennifer gripped the phone tighter. "Sophia? What happened to her?" After a deep breath, her mom continued. "She needs a trip. Something healing, to recover emotionally. Her therapist even suggested she take time for herself." Jennifer felt unease rising in her chest. "And what does that have to do with my wedding?" This was when Patricia finally admitted it. "We promised to fund her Europe trip. 6 weeks. France, Italy, Spain, and England. First-class flights, luxury hotels." In that instant, Jennifer's world froze. She couldn't believe what she'd just heard. Her voice trembling, she asked, "How much did you say that trip costs?" Patricia hesitated, then confessed, "Around $18,000. But you understand, right? Your sister really needs this." Jennifer felt like she'd just been punched in the stomach. 18,000, more than her promised wedding budget. Trying to stay calm, she asked, "So what's my wedding budget now?" After a tense silence, Patricia finally said, "We thought you could do something simpler, maybe 5,000? Or you could just go with a courthouse ceremony." Jennifer's mind spun while her body stayed frozen. 5,000 for her wedding. 18 for her sister's vacation. With a breaking voice, she asked, "Why is Sophia's trip more important than my wedding?" Her mom rushed to justify. "It's not more important, sweetheart. But you're strong. You can handle things on your own. Your sister's fragile right now. She needs care." At that moment, Jennifer realized a painful truth she'd denied for years. Being the strong daughter always meant she came second. Her throat tight, she whispered, "I get it." Noticing the chill in her daughter's voice, Patricia tried to soften it. "Jennifer, I know this is hard, but you'll have other weddings in the future if—" Jennifer cut her off instantly. "What did you just say? Other weddings?" Patricia backtracked, flustered. "I meant you'll have more chances to celebrate, that's all. Your sister just—" That was the breaking point. Like a lightning strike, the truth hit Jennifer. With a calmness that felt almost dangerous, she said, "I get it. Sophia's healing vacation matters more than my once-in-a-lifetime wedding." Sensing her daughter's cold resolve, Patricia tried again. "That's not what I meant, it's just—" Jennifer interrupted, her voice sharp and steady. "You don't need to explain. I understand." After a heavy pause, she added, "I'll handle my own wedding." Before her mom could respond, Jennifer hung up. Sitting in the silent kitchen, she stared at the phone in her hand. Her heart pounded, but her mind was clearer than ever. That night, Jennifer didn't sleep. But instead of crying like before, she started planning. A plan that would change not only her life, but the very meaning of the word family. Sitting in the dark of her bedroom, Jennifer let her memories pull her back through the years. Images came sharp as film reels, every painful moment she'd tried so hard to bury. She remembered being 8, sitting at the old piano in the living room, her little fingers trying to hit the right keys. The soft notes of the first song she ever learned still echoed in her mind. Her piano teacher had told her mom Jennifer had real talent, that she could go far in music if she had the chance. But then 6-year-old Sophia saw ballet dancers on TV and cried until she got lessons. The next week, Patricia sat down beside Jennifer, looking regretful. "Sweetheart, I'm afraid you can't keep up with piano anymore. Sophia really wants to dance, and we can't afford both." Jennifer's chest tightened. She'd practiced so hard, dreamed of performing, of playing on stage. Her voice trembling, she asked, "Why can't Sophia stop dance instead? I started piano first." Her mom stroked her hair and explained, "Because your sister's younger, don't you see? She wouldn't understand giving something up. But you're wise. You'll understand." That was the first time Jennifer felt what it meant to be second place. Her maturity and strength were reasons she had to sacrifice. The same pattern repeated year after year. When Jennifer wanted to join the volleyball team, her parents said they couldn't drive her because they were busy taking Sophia to art class. When she wanted to go to science camp, the money went to Sophia's acting lessons. Every time Jennifer was disappointed, every time she felt left out, the answer was always the same. "You're the oldest. You have to understand." Another memory surfaced: her high school graduation. Jennifer had graduated valedictorian with a full scholarship to a top university. At her graduation party, instead of celebrating her success, her parents fussed over Sophia, who was upset about her boyfriend. Jennifer stood alone at the buffet table, diploma in hand, watching her parents huddled in the corner, comforting Sophia. A crushing loneliness swallowed her. The day that should have been hers was once again about Sophia. College wasn't much different. When Jennifer called home to share her top grades, big projects, or that she'd been chosen as a TA, her parents always answered, "That's wonderful, honey, but we're worried about Sophia. She's struggling to pick a major." Then came tuition. Jennifer worked 3 part-time jobs to cover her expenses, while Sophia's entire private school tuition for marketing was paid in full by their parents. When Jennifer asked why, her dad, James, gave the careful excuse, "You have a scholarship, you can handle it. Sophia doesn't have the same opportunities." That was the most painful betrayal: her success, her independence, always used as the reason she got less. Even after graduating with honors and landing her dream teaching job, nothing really changed. At the family dinner to celebrate her new contract, the spotlight went straight to Sophia, who'd just gotten a junior marketing promotion at a small firm. Hearing her parents gush over Sophia's amazing accomplishment, Jennifer's heart sank. Her meaningful, lifelong dream of teaching seemed invisible compared to Sophia's ordinary job. When she quietly reminded them she'd achieved her childhood dream, Patricia smiled and said, "I know you're always great, honey. You don't need me to worry. But Sophia's different, she needs the encouragement." And in that moment, Jennifer understood the cruel truth. Her strength and independence had become the reason she was forgotten. The cycle kept going. When Jennifer dated kind, respectful men, her parents gave polite nods. But when Sophia brought home careless, irresponsible boyfriends, the family rallied in emergency meetings to save her. Jennifer remembered the night she called home, bursting to share that she and David were engaged. Her mom's response? "That's wonderful, sweetheart, but I'm worried about Sophia. She just broke up with Michael." Even her happiest news was eclipsed by her sister's pain. When she started planning her wedding, and her parents promised financial support, Jennifer thought maybe just once she'd finally come first, that her wedding day would be the day she was the priority. But now, sitting in the darkness, Jennifer realized she'd been living in a lie for 32 years. Every time she succeeded, every time she pushed through, it only gave her parents another reason to give Sophia their care. Because Jennifer didn't need it. Because she was strong enough on her own. A question rose deep in her chest, one that tore her apart. When would she ever be allowed to be weak? When would she ever need them? When would she finally be their first choice? Staring out the window at the star-studded sky, Jennifer felt something shift inside. 32 years of being the understanding child, 32 years of second place, 32 years of settling for what was left. Not this time. This time, she wouldn't be the one who sacrificed. This time, Jennifer would find people who made her their number one. People who would never put her second for any reason. And in that moment, she caught a glimpse of a future where she was loved without conditions, not because she was strong or the smart one, but simply because she was Jennifer. The next morning, Jennifer woke up with a strange feeling. Not the anger or hurt she expected, but a calm, icy clarity she'd never felt before. It was like a quiet fire had lit deep inside her, not to burn everything down, but to light the path ahead. Sitting beside David in their small kitchen, Jennifer gently put her hand on his shoulder and told him the entire phone call from the night before. Every word slow, every detail clear, without anger or bitterness. When she finished, David set down his coffee cup and looked at her seriously. "So, what do you think about all this?" Right then, with a decisiveness that surprised even herself, Jennifer met his eyes. "Babe, I've decided. I'm not begging them. I'm not making it a drama. I'm not fighting. I'm planning our wedding on my own." For a moment, David was quiet. Then he smiled softly. "I'm with you. Honestly, I think this might be the best thing that could have happened to us." Feeling his full support, Jennifer's eyes lit up. "You really think so?" David took her hand, speaking with quiet conviction. "I've watched you put up with favoritism for years. Maybe this is our chance to build something that's truly ours, not theirs." Those words gave Jennifer strength. She realized she wasn't alone in this. In the days that followed, she began a secret project. Every night after teaching, she sat at her laptop, combing through wedding sites, calculating every detail carefully. She listed all their savings. $8,000. Not much by traditional standards, but Jennifer was determined to make it mean something. As she searched for venues, she realized something huge. She didn't need a big wedding to impress anyone. She needed a meaningful one, surrounded only by the people who truly loved her. She opened her guest list and went name by name. Does this person really care about me? Or would they just show up out of obligation? Painful but necessary. She crossed off distant relatives she only saw at funerals and weddings. She crossed off coworkers she barely knew. Then she added others. Maria, her college best friend who'd stuck by her through every storm. Tom, her colleague, who felt more like a brother. Susan, the mentor who shaped her career. And that's when Jennifer saw the truth. The people who really mattered fit into a list of about 40 names. And not one of them was her parents or her sister. That decision didn't come easily. Many sleepless nights, torn between the little girl who still longed for her family's love and the woman who whispered to herself that she deserved better. One especially hard night, she called Maria. Her voice shook as she asked, "Am I selfish for not inviting my own family to my wedding?" Maria paused before answering softly, "Jen, I've watched you sacrifice for them for 10 years. Now, for the first time, you're putting yourself first, and you're worried about being selfish? No. This is love. For yourself." Jennifer felt a strange release in that moment. Maybe Maria was right. Maybe loving herself wasn't selfish at all. The following week, she gathered her chosen family at her place. Maria, Tom, and Susan sat around her table as she shared her limited budget and her simple wedding vision. Their response floored her. Maria lit up. "We can do the flowers ourselves. I know someone who can get wholesale prices." Tom jumped in. My boyfriend's a pro photographer. He'd be thrilled to shoot your wedding for free. And Susan wrapped Jennifer in a hug. Sweetheart, I'll handle music. I've got plenty of friends who'd love to play live at your wedding. Surrounded by these people, Jennifer felt a powerful rush of emotion. This was family. Not blood, but love. The weeks ahead buzzed with joy instead of stress. Instead of worrying about pleasing anyone, Jennifer finally got to be creative, to be herself. She picked a simple, elegant dress from a small boutique instead of the pricey, overdone styles her mom once suggested. She chose natural hair and makeup that reflected who she truly was. Most importantly, she wrote vows straight from her heart. Not from any template, but promises about choosing people who were worthy of love, about building a family rooted in respect and support. One night, as she addressed invitations, she paused. There was no Patricia Wilson. No, James Wilson. New Sophia Wilson. And instead of sadness, she felt something else. Lightness. Like an invisible weight had lifted. For the first time in her life, she didn't have to worry about disappointing anyone. For the first time, she wasn't living for someone else's expectations. For the first time, she was free to be Jennifer. Later that night, sitting beside David, she whispered, "You know what? I feel like I'm finally finding myself. Like I've been living someone else's life for 32 years. Ugh." David held her close and murmured, "And now, you're living Jennifer's life. The life you've always deserved." In that moment, Jennifer knew she'd made the right choice. Her quiet revolution wasn't just about a wedding. It was about reclaiming her worth, about choosing the people who truly deserved a place in her life. And what was coming next wouldn't just change her world, it would inspire thousands of others facing the very same choice. 2 weeks after that fateful call, Jennifer was in the teacher's lounge grading tests when her phone buzzed with a social media notification. She almost ignored it until she saw Sophia's name. Opening the app, Jennifer froze. Post after post from Milan, Italy. Sophia is smiling in front of luxury boutiques, arms loaded with designer bags. The first photo stopped Jennifer's breath cold. Sophia was in a white cashmere coat, carrying a purse Jennifer recognized from a fashion magazine. Scrolling, she saw more. Sophia is in a jewelry store. Sophia is trying on designer heels. Sophia is sipping champagne in a fancy restaurant. But the real punch came from the caption, "So grateful Mom and Dad understood I needed this healing time. Milan is incredible. Enjoying every moment of this recovery trip." Jennifer's blood boiled. Healing? With her wedding money? Healing while flaunting luxury shopping online? The comments stung worse. "You look so happy. You deserve it. Such a perfect trip after what you went through." Meanwhile, Jennifer was sitting in a cramped lounge, squeezing every penny for her wedding. Her hands shook when she saw the next photo, Sophia holding a $5,000 handbag, the exact amount her parents had left her for her entire wedding. That was it. A cold, steady fury rose inside her. She screenshot every photo and sent them to David with one line, "Here's how my sister is healing with our wedding money." "Oh," he replied instantly. "Are you okay? I'm on my way home." But Jennifer wasn't okay. Decades of swallowing her feelings, of accepting second place, were cracking apart. That afternoon, while trying to focus on lesson prep, her phone rang again. "Mom." For a moment, she hesitated. Should she answer? Maybe, just maybe. Her mom was calling to apologize, to change her mind. Jennifer picked up. Patricia's voice came, hesitant. "Sweetheart, I just wanted to check in. How's the wedding planning going?" Keeping her tone flat, Jennifer said, "I'm handling it. Thanks for asking." Sensing the chill, Patricia added carefully, "I know things are tight financially. Maybe you should consider a courthouse ceremony. Simple, meaningful, and affordable." Jennifer's stomach twisted. A courthouse wedding after giving Sophia 18 grand to heal? Her voice trembled as she asked, "Mom, have you seen Sophia's Milan shopping photos?" Silence. Then Patricia's weak reply, "You know your sister needs this for her emotional recovery." Jennifer's patience was shattered. Her voice turned icy. "Recovery? With a $5,000 handbag?" Her mom rushed to defend. "You don't understand her pain, she's suffering." Jennifer laughed bitterly, the sound sharp and joyless. "And what about me, Mom? Am I not suffering canceling my dream wedding so she can flaunt a shopping spree? Patricia tried to soothe her. Jennifer, you're strong. You always get through things. Your sister. Enough, Jennifer snapped. I know exactly where I stand in this family. Before Patricia could respond, Jennifer's voice cut like glass. You're right. I'll have a simple wedding, but not at a courthouse. And you won't be there. Stunned, Patricia gasped. What? You mean you're not inviting your family? For the first time, Jennifer felt a strange, liberating peace. That's right. I'm only inviting people who make me a priority. Ugh, her mom panicked. Jennifer, you can't do this. We're family. Jennifer's heart ached, but her resolve held firm. Family isn't blood. Family is the people who put me first. Clearly, that's not you. She hung up. Shaking but clear-headed, Jennifer sat in silence. For the first time in 32 years, she'd chosen herself. When David got home and found her on the couch, eyes red but face set with resolve, he sat beside her. Are you okay? Jennifer turned to him, steady. I just decided not to invite my family to the wedding. David didn't flinch. He wrapped her in his arms and said, I think that's the right choice. They had their chance to support you, and they didn't. Tears welled, but Jennifer asked, You don't think I'm being too harsh? David met her gaze. You gave them 32 years to prove you mattered. They didn't. Now it's time to choose the people who do. For the first time, Jennifer felt true peace. Hardest choice of her life, but the right one. That night, she texted Maria. I need to see you. Big news about the wedding. Maria replied, On my way. An hour later, sitting in Jennifer's living room with Maria and David, she told them everything, Sophia's photos, her mom's call, her final decision. When she finished, Maria hugged her tight. You did the right thing, and we're going to throw you the most amazing wedding. And in that moment, Jennifer realized she hadn't lost a family. She'd found her real one, the people who'd never make her second best. The ones who'd celebrate every moment of her life. And what came next would prove that sometimes, standing up for yourself doesn't just change your own life, it can inspire the world. The morning after her life-changing decision, Jennifer woke up feeling lighter than she had in years. No more burden of pleasing her family, no more stress over meeting anyone else's expectations. For the first time, she was free to create something that was truly hers. Sitting next to David in their small kitchen, she smiled and said softly, You know what? I just realized something. My real family has been here all along. David squeezed her hand and answered warmly, And now we're going to have a wedding that honors the people who really matter. Right after breakfast, Jennifer made her first call. When Maria picked up, Jennifer's voice carried both nerves and excitement. Maria, I need an emergency wedding planning meeting. Can you come over this afternoon? Hearing the urgency, Maria didn't hesitate. Of course. I'll be there at 2. Want me to bring anything? Just yourself, Jennifer said with a smile of relief. And if you can, call Tom and Susan. I want them in this too. That afternoon, Jennifer's small living room turned into mission control. Maria, Tom, and Susan gathered around the coffee table with notebooks and pens ready. Taking a deep breath, Jennifer began. Guys, I've decided. We're doing this wedding completely on our own, just with the savings David and I have. Tom blinked. Wait, what happened with the family support? That's when Jennifer laid it all out, the phone call, the Milan shopping posts, the final choice to cut ties. Every detail, raw and honest. When she finished, Susan stood up and wrapped her in a hug. Sweetheart, I am so proud of you. You've chosen the people who actually love you. 1. Maria took Jennifer's hand and said firmly, We're going to give you the best wedding ever. Doesn't matter how much money, it's about love and creativity. Jennifer's eyes watered. Are you sure? We've only got $8,000 to work with. Tom grinned. $8,000? Watch us turn it into the most unforgettable wedding in history. The room exploded with ideas. Maria jumped in first. I'll handle flowers. My sister and I have a garden, and I know florists who will give us a great deal. Tom added, My boyfriend Mark's a pro photographer. He'll shoot the whole wedding, no charge. And Susan promised with a smile, Leave music to me. I'll bring in my jazz friends for live sets. It'll be beautiful. Jennifer's throat tightened. You guys are incredible. I don't want you to spend too much, though. Maria looked her straight in the eye. Jen, This isn't spending. This is investing in your happiness. The kind of thing your family should have done. No. The next week, Jennifer began scouting venues. She wasn't looking for hotels or resorts. She wanted something meaningful and within budget. One afternoon, she spotted a small sign. Community rooftop garden. Event rentals. Curious. She went up. On the 10th floor of an old building, she stepped into a hidden gem, a rooftop garden bursting with flowers, rustic wooden tables, and a stunning city view. She approached the owner, an elderly man named Robert. "Sir, I'd like to ask about renting this for a wedding." "How many guests?" he asked kindly. "About 40, Jennifer answered. Robert smiled. "Perfect size. That's exactly what this space was made for, bringing people together." When he quoted her $2,000 for the entire day, including tables, chairs, and a sound system, Jennifer's jaw dropped. "That seems too cheap." Robert's eyes twinkled. This garden wasn't built for profit. It was built so people could celebrate life's most important moments. Jennifer's heart swelled. "Then I'd love to book it." From then on, the planning nights became joyful little celebrations. Maria brought flower samples. White daisies and yellow sunflowers, simple, bright, and meaningful. Tom showed sample shots on his laptop. "Mark and I will capture everything from setup to the last dance. You'll have the perfect album." Susan came with a playlist. Acoustic for the vows, soft jazz for the reception. It's gonna flow beautifully. For the first time in her life, wedding prep felt fun. No stress, no drama, no pressure to perform. Just love and excitement. One night, while finalizing the guest list with David, Jennifer looked at the names and smiled. "You know, every single person here has stood by me." David kissed her forehead. "And on that day, you'll be surrounded by nothing but real love." Jennifer leaned into him, a deep calm washing over her. This wasn't just about a wedding anymore. It was about redefining family, choosing the ones who truly belonged in her life's biggest moments. And soon, the world would see what real love could create. On the morning of her wedding, Jennifer woke up with a peace she'd never felt before any big event in her life. No pressure to please her family, no stress about drama, just pure joy at the thought of sharing her day with the people who truly loved her. She looked out the window to a clear blue sky, as if the universe itself was blessing her choice. At 8 a.m., Maria showed up at her door, beaming, arms full of bags. "Is our bride ready? Today's gonna be the best day ever." Jennifer hugged her tight. "I never imagined a wedding morning could feel this light." While Jennifer got ready, David was already at the rooftop garden, helping with setup. Tom and Mark, his photographer boyfriend, were there capturing every detail from the start. Maria carefully laid out Jennifer's simple, elegant dress, a cream gown with classic lines, chosen not for the price tag, but for how it reflected her true self. By 10, Susan arrived with her makeup kit, hugging Jennifer. "Sweetheart, you're already beautiful. I'm just here to bring out what's already there." Sitting at the mirror, Jennifer let her chosen sisters pamper her. Maria styled her hair in soft waves, and Susan gave her a natural glow. Looking at her reflection, Jennifer realized she'd never looked so happy. The light wasn't from makeup, it was from within. At 1, Jennifer and her chosen family headed to the garden. She gasped when she saw it. Tom and the volunteers had turned it into a dream. Wooden chairs arranged in a half circle, an altar draped in white daisies and bright sunflowers, fairy lights strung through the trees. What hit Jennifer hardest was the memory wall. Maria had built a collage of photos from years of friendship and love. As guests arrived, the energy was unlike any family gathering Jennifer had ever known. Smiles, laughter, and genuine excitement to celebrate her. Sarah, a close colleague, hugged her. "You're glowing. You two deserve this perfect day." Tears stung Jennifer's eyes. "Thank you for always being there." By 2 p.m., everyone was seated. Susan's acoustic band strummed softly as Jennifer stood at the entrance, gazing at David waiting for her with the warmest smile she'd ever seen. She chose to walk alone. No father giving her away, just her, stepping into her new life as her own person. Every face she passed radiated real love. No one was there on duty. No one was there for appearances. Just the people who cared. When she reached David, he took her hand and whispered, "You're stunning, and I'm so proud of you." The ceremony was simple, yet deeply meaningful. Tom, ordained just for this, led it. Jennifer and David read vows straight from their hearts. Looking into his eyes, Jennifer promised, "I'll choose you every day. I'll build a family with you rooted in love and respect, where no one ever comes second." Tears fell across the garden. Maria, phone in hand, captured every moment on video. After the rings and their first kiss as husband and wife, the garden erupted in heartfelt applause. The reception was a potluck picnic. Maria's flowers decorated the tables. Susan brought her famous salad, Tom baked cupcakes, and Mark surprised everyone with a slideshow of Jennifer and David's journey. When Jennifer stood to thank everyone, her voice shook. "I've learned family isn't about blood. Family is the people who show up, who celebrate your joy, and who never put you second." Unbeknownst to her, Maria had started live streaming. She just wanted distant friends to share the moment. She didn't know the video would soon spread everywhere. As the sun set and fairy lights twinkled, the rooftop glowed with magic. Guests lingered, savoring every last moment. Jennifer looked around, her heart full. She had the kind of wedding people dream of, overflowing with love, no drama, no pretending, just truth and joy. What she didn't yet know was that Maria's livestream was already going viral, carrying her story to millions around the world. The morning after the wedding, Jennifer woke up feeling like she was floating. The laughter from her friends, the soft glow of the fairy lights, the overwhelming sense of being loved without conditions, every moment from yesterday still shimmered in her memory. Beside her, David was still asleep, smiling even in his dreams. Jennifer reached for her phone, expecting a few missed texts from friends who couldn't make it. Instead, her screen exploded with notifications. Hundreds of alerts from social media, messages from unknown numbers, emails from strangers. Confused, she opened the first app and froze. Maria's livestream from last night had blown up. Over 50,000 views. Thousands of comments and shares. Her hands trembling, Jennifer nudged David awake. "Babe, you have to see this. Something's happening with our wedding video." David sat up instantly. "What is it? What's wrong?" She held out the phone, her voice shaking. "Maria's video, it's already at 50,000 views, and it's climbing every second." Together they scrolled through the comments. And what stunned Jennifer most wasn't the number, it was the content. One comment with thousands of likes. "This woman did what I never had the courage to. My parents always favored my brother. Watching this made me cry." Another. "Her vows broke me. Family is who loves you, not who you're related to." Right then, her phone buzzed. Maria was calling. Her voice was breathless, half thrilled, half panicked. "Jennifer, have you seen this? The video's everywhere." Jennifer whispered, still in shock. "I just saw." "Maria, why does everyone care so much about my wedding?" Maria's answer came without hesitation. "Because your story hit a nerve. People see themselves in you. They've all been second place too." Jennifer kept scrolling, heart pounding. Story after story poured in, strangers, sharing years of favoritism, of always being asked to sacrifice. One comment stopped her cold. "I'm 45. For the first time, I feel like it's okay to choose myself. Thank you." Another call came in, from an unknown number. Against her better judgment, Jennifer answered, "Hello? This is Michael from the local news. We'd love to feature you on our morning show. Your stories inspired so many viewers." Jennifer blinked, stunned. "I'm sorry, there must be a mistake. I'm just an elementary school teacher." Michael's voice was patient, steady. "Jennifer, your story has given hope to millions. We've had non-stop calls from people asking to hear more from you." When she hung up, she sat in silence, phone still in her lap. David pulled her close. "How do you feel about all this?" Jennifer's eyes welled. "I don't know. I just wanted a simple wedding with people who loved me. I never thought it would turn into this." But it wasn't stopping. Calls from podcasts, talk shows, and journalists. A hashtag was suddenly trending. Number family you choose. Thousands of people were posting their own stories every hour. By noon, Tom called, his voice bursting with excitement. "Jen, get online right now. A celebrity just shared your video." Jennifer opened her app and gasped. A major Hollywood actress had reposted Maria's video with the caption, "This is beautiful. Sometimes the best family is the one you choose." That single post had hundreds of thousands of likes. Maria's original video? Already past 2 million views. Jennifer and David turned their phones off for a while, trying to breathe, but they couldn't stop reading the stories. One woman wrote, "I canceled my wedding because my in-laws didn't respect me. Watching this made me feel less alone." A man shared, 40 years of being the responsible son, always coming second to my sister. For the first time, I feel like I deserved to be a priority." Jennifer's chest ached as she read them. For the first time, she realized her pain wasn't unique. Millions of people were carrying the same invisible scars. That afternoon, Susan called, her voice trembling with emotion. "Sweetheart, a major publisher just reached out. They want you to write a book about your journey." Jennifer nearly dropped the phone. "A book? Susan, I'm a teacher, not an author." But Susan's reply was firm, tender. "Jennifer, you have a powerful story, and people need to hear it." That night, curled up on the couch with David, Jennifer whispered, "Do you think I should take this opportunity? Share more?" David kissed her hand. "Babe, if your story can give someone else the courage to choose themselves, that's worth everything." By the end of the day, the video had nearly 3 million views. The hashtag was trending worldwide. Tens of thousands were sharing their truths. Jennifer realized then her decision hadn't just changed her own life. It had sparked something bigger, a movement about self-worth, about boundaries, about what family really means. And the ripples were only beginning. 3 days after the wedding video went viral, Jennifer was sitting in her classroom prepping lessons when her phone buzzed. On the screen, "Dad." Her heartbeat spiked. It was the first call from her family since she told them they weren't invited to the wedding. After a long pause, she answered, her voice flat. "Hi, Dad." James hesitated. "Jennifer? I just watched your wedding video online." Jennifer stayed calm. "Then you saw I had a beautiful day." Her dad's tone wavered, uneasy. "Sweetheart, I didn't realize it would blow up like this. Everyone at the office keeps asking me about it." Jennifer's chest tightened. "And how does it feel having to explain why you skipped your daughter's wedding?" Silence stretched before James admitted haltingly, "I feel ashamed. But you know how complicated things were." That familiar anger flared in Jennifer's chest, but she kept her voice steady. "Complicated, or did you just choose Sophia over me?" James scrambled. "It wasn't like that. We love you both equally. It's just that your sister," Jennifer cut him off, "needed $5,000 for a handbag to heal? You saw those shopping photos, didn't you?" This time, James went quiet. His silence was answer enough. Finally, he sighed. "Jennifer, I know we hurt you, but now it's all so public. What can we do to fix this?" And in that moment, Jennifer understood. He wasn't sorry for the choices. He was sorry for the consequences. "There's nothing to fix, Dad," she said coldly. "I've already found my real family." 2 days later, Sophia finally broke her silence with a long text. "Jen, I know you're mad. I didn't think it would blow up like this. I cut my trip short and came home early." Jennifer stared at the message, a strange emptiness washing over her. Sophia hadn't come home out of guilt. She'd come home because of the backlash. Her reply was short. "You didn't have to come back for me. Enjoy what you chose." Moments later, Sophia called, crying, "Jen, I'm sorry. I didn't realize my choices would mess up your wedding so badly." Jennifer sighed, exhausted. "Sophia, you're sorry you got exposed. Not sorry you hurt me." Sophia protested, voice breaking. "No, I really do feel bad. But you know I was heartbroken after the breakup." Jennifer's patience snapped. "And what about me? Was I not allowed to be heartbroken? Canceling my dream wedding for your shopping spree?" Silence. Then a quiet admission. I didn't think about that." That same day, Patricia called, her voice weary. "Sweetheart, people online are saying I'm a terrible mother." Jennifer's heart sank. "Do you think you treated me fairly?" Her mom faltered. "I always tried to do what's best for both of you. Maybe I made some mistakes." Maybe. Even now, she couldn't fully admit it. Jennifer's voice was tired but firm. "Mom, I don't need you to admit anything. I just need you to understand choices have consequences." Over the next week, messages poured in from relatives who'd barely spoken to her before. Her Aunt Mary texted, I always knew you were treated unfairly but never had the courage to say it. I'm so proud of you. Uncle Robert called. Your video moved me. I wish I'd spoken up sooner. Jennifer's emotions twisted. Why now? Why only when the world was watching? One night, talking it over with David, she murmured, "It feels like they're only apologizing because they got caught, not because they finally understand." David held her close. Do you want to forgive them? Jennifer took a deep breath. I can forgive, but I won't forget, and I won't go back to how things were. Forgiveness doesn't mean letting them treat me the same way again. I've learned to set boundaries. That weekend, she agreed to meet them once for closure. A neutral cafe. When she saw her parents and Sophia waiting, her heart felt strangely detached. They were still her family, but she no longer felt bound to win their approval. She sat tall, steady. I want to make this clear. I'm not angry anymore, but I can't pretend nothing happened. They stayed silent, listening. Jennifer continued, her voice firm but not hostile. From now on, our relationship will be different. I'll be respectful, I'll be polite, but I will never again sacrifice myself just to be accepted. And in that moment, she knew she had closed one chapter of her life and opened a new one. A chapter where she was finally the protagonist of her own story. A week after meeting her family, Jennifer was in the teacher's lounge grading papers when an email popped up with the subject line, "Thank you for saving my marriage." Curious, she opened it. A woman named Linda from California had written, Dear Jennifer, I'm 38 and postponed my wedding 3 times because my future in-laws kept disrespecting me. Watching your video helped me realize I deserve a wedding where I'm respected. Last week, I held a small ceremony with the people who truly support us. It was the happiest day of my life. Tears welled in Jennifer's eyes. Her story had changed someone else's life. Another email came in, this time from a man named Michael. I'm 45 and have spent my whole life as the good son, always sacrificing for my younger brother. After seeing your story, I finally said no when my parents asked me to loan him money for a house. I'm learning to set boundaries and my life feels more peaceful already. In the days that followed, Jennifer's inbox overflowed with stories like these. Each one was proof that her pain had sparked healing for others. One night, reading them aloud to David, she whispered, I never thought my pain could become someone else's healing. David kissed her hand. That's the power of being real. You showed people they're not alone. The next week, Jennifer got a call from Dr. Sarah Chen, a well-known family therapist. Miss Jennifer, I'd like to invite you to speak at a conference on family dynamics. Your story has become an important case study in our field. Jennifer hesitated. But I'm not a psychologist. I'm just a teacher. Dr. Chen reassured her. Sometimes lived experience carries more weight than academic theory. You've shown in practice what healthy boundaries look like. After much thought, Jennifer agreed. Standing before more than 200 therapists and social workers, she felt nervous. But as she began sharing about golden child versus scapegoat roles, about subtle emotional neglect, about reclaiming self-worth, a calm settled over her. When she finished, one therapist stood and said, Thank you, Miss Jennifer. I've worked with many clients like you, but I've never understood their perspective so clearly. Afterward, she left with a stack of business cards from professionals eager to share her resources with their clients. She realized she'd become an advocate, even without a formal title. The next month, a major podcast network called, We'd like you to host a show on family relationships and boundary setting. Our audience is hungry for your perspective. Jennifer confessed to David, Should I do it? I'm scared I'm not qualified. He smiled. Qualifications aren't just degrees. You've got wisdom people need. So she tried a pilot. She called it Family You Choose. Listeners sent in their stories, and Jennifer responded with empathy and insight. The first episode had over 100,000 downloads in 1 week. Comments poured in. I'm 23, and for the first time, someone put into words exactly what I felt. I thought I was crazy. This podcast validated me. Invitations rolled in from universities, panels, mental health forums. Then came the email from a major publisher. We'd like Miss Jennifer to write a book about her journey. There's huge demand for this content. Jennifer worried aloud. Do I have enough story for a book? David laughed gently. Are you kidding? You've got transformation, lessons on boundaries, and stories from your listeners. That's more than enough. She said yes. She interviewed dozens of people to include diverse perspectives. She wrote not just about her journey, but about generational trauma, shifting family structures, and the right each person has to demand respect. 6 months later, Family You Choose, The Journey Back to Self, Worth hit shelves. It shot onto bestseller lists. Reviews poured in. This book changed how I think about family obligations. Loyalty doesn't mean tolerating mistreatment. Finally, someone explained Golden Child divided by scapegoat dynamics in a way that's honest and practical. I've recommended it to everyone I know. A year after the viral video, Jennifer sat in her small home office, walls lined with thank you letters. Letters from people whose lives had shifted because she dared to speak. Reading one from a teenage girl who'd finally stood up to her abusive parents, Jennifer felt her throat tighten. David walked in, smiling. "Aren't you proud of yourself?" Jennifer looked around at the letters, the evidence of lives touched, and whispered, "I am. Not because of fame or success, but because I turned my pain into purpose." And in that moment, she knew the decision not to invite her family to her wedding hadn't just changed her life. It had ignited a movement, helping thousands realize they deserve love, respect, and to never again settle for being second best. 1 year after the viral video, Jennifer stood in front of her bedroom mirror, getting ready for her first anniversary celebration with David. Staring at her reflection, she realized something miraculous. Her eyes shone with a confidence she'd never known before. David walked in, wrapping his arms around her from behind. "Do you even realize how much you've changed?" he asked softly. Jennifer turned, smiling. "What do you mean?" He brushed a strand of hair from her face. "You've become the most confident version of yourself. You don't apologize for existing anymore." That evening, they returned to the rooftop garden where they'd said their vows. To Jennifer's surprise, Maria, Tom, Susan, and her chosen family were already there, waiting with a celebration. Overwhelmed, she whispered, "You did all this?" Maria hugged her tight. "We wanted to celebrate not just your anniversary, but the journey you've taken." During the toast, Susan lifted her glass. "A year ago, we watched Jennifer reclaim her voice. Today, she's helped thousands find theirs." Warmth spread through Jennifer's chest. This was family, the kind that celebrated her growth, not the kind that tried to keep her small. As for her biological family, Jennifer had kept clear boundaries. They exchanged polite holiday cards and the occasional phone call, but she no longer felt responsible for prioritizing their needs over her own well-being. A month earlier, when Sophia called sobbing about another breakup, Jennifer listened compassionately but didn't swoop in to fix it. Instead, she gently suggested, "You should find a therapist to work through these patterns. I can recommend a few." "Wait, but you've always helped me," Sophia said, surprised. Jennifer's voice was calm but firm. "I've learned that enabling isn't helping. You need to develop your own coping skills." Professionally, Jennifer had expanded far beyond teaching. She became a sought-after speaker on family dynamics and boundary setting, regularly invited to conferences, universities, and media interviews. Her podcast, Family You Choose, had become a top-rated show in the relationships category, with millions of downloads worldwide. Each episode mixed practical advice with real listener stories about favoritism, neglect, and self-acceptance. Her book had been translated into 12 languages, continuing to help people across cultures recognize toxic family patterns. Publishers were already asking for a follow-up focusing on healing and rebuilding self-worth. But what Jennifer treasured most weren't the accolades or the success, it was the messages from people whose lives had truly changed. One email, from a 19-year-old named Jessica, touched her deeply. "I grew up always being compared to my perfect older sister. Your video helped me realize I deserve equal treatment. I stood up to my parents, and now our relationship is healthier. Thank you for showing me that self-advocacy isn't selfish." Reading stories like that, Jennifer often reflected on the ripple effect of her one choice a year ago. A single moment of courage had created waves of change in countless lives. David teased her sometimes, calling her a boundary-setting guru. But Jennifer knew her calling was simpler, helping people recognize their worth. In a Psychology magazine interview, she explained, "I don't claim to be a family therapy expert. I'm just someone who learned you can't pour from an empty cup. You have to fill your own first before you can truly love others." Her marriage with David only grew stronger, built on shared values and mutual respect. They'd started talking about having children, and Jennifer felt confident she would break the cycles of favoritism and neglect. "One day, when we have kids," she told David one night, "we'll love them equally and consistently. No golden children, no scapegoats, just unconditional love and healthy boundaries." David squeezed her hand. "Our kids will never wonder if they're loved. They'll be celebrated for exactly who they are." Recently, Jennifer launched a nonprofit called the Chosen Family Foundation to support people navigating estrangement and building new support systems. The foundation offered free counseling, support groups, and workshops. At the grand opening, Jennifer spoke through tears. "Many of us spend years chasing love from people incapable of giving it unconditionally. This foundation exists to remind you you are worthy of love exactly as you are." Success stories from participants poured in, confirming her belief that healing was possible when people had real support and validation. Looking back, from devastated bride to empowered advocate, Jennifer often marveled at how life could change when someone found the courage to choose themselves. Sitting in her office, surrounded by thank you letters, awards, and photos with people she'd helped, she felt a deep satisfaction. Her pain had become her purpose. Her isolation had turned into a connection. Sometimes she wondered what might have happened if she'd chosen differently, if she'd stayed silent to keep the peace. But then she looked at the life she and David were building, the impact she was making, the freedom she now had to live authentically, and she knew, without a doubt, she'd made the right choice. Years later, when people asked her the secret to happiness, her answer was always the same. Learn to tell the difference between people who love the real you and people who love the version of you that serves them. Then choose to keep only the first group. Jennifer had found what so many search for their whole lives: a family that loved her exactly as she was, without conditions, without judgment, without ever putting her second. And in the process, she helped countless others find the same for themselves.